Question. Why are some competitors able to create clear rounds seemingly at will by the dozen? And others find that there's always that one thing that goes wrong. And why are some competitors able to create these beautifully connected performances? You know, the sort of runs you're like, oh my gosh, that was a dream. While others are left leaving the ring feeling frustrated and like they've let their dog down. And again, another question. Why are some people super motivated and enthused about competing and others are like, maybe I should just quit? So in this free workshop, all right, in this series, I'm going to share, and particularly in this one, I'm going to share the answers to these questions so you too can feel confident and partnered beautifully with your dog. So for those of you who are new, I know there's a bunch of you who are brand new around here. My name is Dr. Catherine McAleese, and I am the creator of Mind to Win and Mental Mastery. And this is my brand new workshop, Confident Competing. So in this first video, you are going to discover a process for creating beautifully partnered rounds. It's going to immediately help you to feel more positive about your runs. Actually, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to make you feel more positive about yourself before we even get into the rest of what I've got coming for you in the rest of the series. And once you get this down, you're going to start experiencing more fun and increased success. And that's not a big brag because some of you who are on here have already gone through this process or are well through this process and you can testify to this, right? So if you're trying to move up the grades, but you're not getting the clear rounds that you need, or you're ready to take your competing to a whole new level and achieve your most audacious goals, then you're going to want to stay with me because you're going to discover why competitors like you can get more fun and increase success, and why it is absolutely critical that you get your unhelpful nerves handled right here, right now. All right? With me? Okay. So the goal of this workshop is simple: to help you feel confident and amazingly partnered with your dog. That's it. All right. And if you're filling in the PDF, that's one of your first ones. Yeah. To help you feel confident and amazingly partnered with your dog. Today, I'm going to show you just the first step. We're going to take this in baby steps. So even if you're brand new to me, you've never worked with me before, I'm going to break this right down so I don't assume that you know anything about mental game, okay? And we're going to take it step by step. So don't try and rush ahead, all right? Baby steps. I'm going to help you feel more positive about your runs so you can have more fun and increase success. Does that sound good? That's also going to give you a greater opportunity to experience satisfaction and pride in your achievements. Are you ready for that? Anybody interested in that? All right. I like it. Let's do this. So before we dig in, I've got a warning for you because it's really critically important that you pay attention to this, because not paying attention to this is going to virtually guarantee that you become so frustrated that you want to quit. All right. Now, right now, you might be watching this and you might be like, yeah, I'm stuck. You might be going, well, you know, what do you want me to do, Catherine? This is just the way I am. But I want to throw that back to you and go, okay, so maybe that's where you're at today. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if instead you are capable of change? You are capable of change. Put the emphasis in that sentence where you want it, you know? But you can change is the bottom line. What if it was perfectly possible to transform your whole attitude, your whole approach to competing? What then? And I get that what I'm suggesting might be a little bit different than what you've heard before about mental game, you know? So, but what I will tell you is that fundamental shift is not one very, very good reason why this process works so well. Okay. I mean, the thing is that you might have already tried to feel more positive about your runs and it didn't work out the way you hoped. You know, today you're going to see how to do this in a whole new way. And I'm sure you'll agree, trying to feel confident and amazingly partnered with your dog isn't always as simple as people make it seem. You know, is it? It comes with its challenges. Like maybe you've one of these, and I hear this a lot actually. Maybe you're one of those who's like, I'm just going to fake it till I make it. Or maybe you have pretended that you don't care. Oh, I don't care. Like, doesn't matter to me, while you're dying inside. Or maybe you even tell anyone who'll listen, oh, we're just doing this for fun. Oh, we're just here to have fun. Like, and don't feel bad if you've done any of these. I've done them all, and they were like, I was talking rubbish, you know. Like, you know, there were plenty of times that I said that I didn't care, where I tried to fake it till I made it, you know, or you know, I've said, oh, I'm just here for fun. You're right. And honestly, like, was I having fun? Not so much, but you know, that's a whole other story. So, you know, maybe you do wonder, like, can I really feel confident, Catherine? Like, seriously, can I feel confident and amazingly partner with my dog? Like, you haven't met my dog. You haven't met me for that. You know, maybe you're doubtful. And if any of this sounds familiar, like, I get it. You know, so many people go through the same things. You are not a freak to think any of this stuff. We have all heard that voice of doubt in our heads. You know, we've all got self-doubt somewhere along the lines. We've all experienced it. We all know what it feels like to doubt if something is possible for us. You know, you look at somebody else's success and you go, oh, yeah, that's fine for them. Yeah, of course they can do it because they've got blah, 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 or because they are them, you know, but we doubt it for ourselves. So here's the thing. I am here to show you that this is possible for you. You, not the other people listening, you. Okay? I dare you to grab hold of this. All right? And so in this video, I'm going to demystify the process to feel more positive about your runs, which is going to save you a lot of time, money, and frustration. And I can back that up. So, in this video, and I know I'm teasing you. I'm totally teasing you, but just deal with it. I'm nearly ready to drop it on you. All right, but I'm going to keep teasing you for a second more because I want you to really understand this. I'm going to share a process that I've developed after years of trial and error, and in response to the work that I've done with many of you and many that have gone before you. Okay, it's called Confident Competing. So if you've become so frustrated that you want to quit, this will serve as a tremendous resource to eliminate the frustration and help you feel more positive about your runs. Okay, and I know there's a bunch of you in that situation, so I don't say this lightly, but I can back it up. So I'm confident in saying it. Or maybe you're one of those, and I know there's a bunch of you that fit this description as well, who are trying to move up the grades. Or maybe you're even trying to take your competing to a whole new level, you know. Either way, you are in the right place because after this video, you're going to know how to feel more positive about your runs. Right? Now, I developed this framework because because I've seen so many competitors be completely sidetracked while they're trying to get the beautifully connected runs that they want. I've seen competitors who've been trying to move up the grades before they've really understood how to view their runs and to be able to analyze them with any kind of fairness, frankly, you know, let alone accuracy of what's actually going on. And, you know, for those who are looking to take their performances to a whole new level, you know, if you aren't achieving your most audacious goals, well then, you know, we may need to refine your self-beliefs and have some high-level visualization skills that, you know, just aren't there yet. And that's okay, because, you know, you're going to keep hearing me say this word skills because that's what they are, you know. And, you know, before I am getting close to, I promise I'm getting close to, but I'm going to tease you a second longer because there's so many of you who are new to me and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. So my own story is one of having, gone through hell, frankly, with my own dog. I mean, I grew up in and around agility. My dad has been in agility forever. I had no desire for years to run an agility dog. We had family holidays at agility. I got enough agility, thank you very much. And I was too busy off competing in dance and netball and swimming and singing and dancing and goodness knows what. And so all of that stuff was my focal point. And then, eventually I got the bug and got my own agility dog. And I may as well have taken my heart and put it on a string. Can anybody identify with that? And from having been bomb proof in competition, something changed. and I knew that I had previously been bomb proof in competition. I mean, so one example. When I was auditioning to get into the theatre school that I would go to, in the ballet audition, I completely blanked. I mean, I think I basically had like a sugar dip, it was just before lunch, not the ideal time for me to be trying to do my best in ballet, which was not my forte. So in the ballet part of an all-day audition to get into my dream school, I suddenly realized that what the teacher had demonstrated for us to perform en masse for the judging, the auditioning panel, I had no clue. No clue. I knew it was something that involved port de bras. And I had like a couple of moves, but I had walloping great pieces of this that I had not taken in. I led the entire room astray because I thought, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to do it wrong with such confidence that everybody else starts going, maybe I'm wrong. And I did. So believe me, when I tell you, when I realized that my competing was not going so well in agility, I was well aware that this was an anomaly. This was strange. This was different. And maybe some of you can identify from other sports where you were like, I never had a problem when I did blah, blah, blah. No, I have a Fruit Loop. Well, check. So I've been through that process. I have had to work this out for myself. And, I wish back in the day I'd had someone to flag it up and walk with me. I went through the comparison, gremlins, up the yin yang, my first agility dog, my dad competing. I mean, at that stage, the dog that he got, who was a litter sibling of mine, anybody else dealt with the litter sibling fun and games that can come along with that? Let's put comparison on steroids, and have siblings of a dog that's going places, So my dad was getting onto the FCI Team GB at that stage, and there's me, that's tripping over jumps and losing the plot in competition, even when I was getting it together in training, So I went through all that and had to work through my own mental game. So I had perfectionism up the yin yang. And I also was really competitive because I've been a competitor in other things, and going back and not being awesome at something, like not being great at something, was like, sucks. So it was a real process. So when I come to you guys, do know that my journey started by going through hell. My journey did not start from, oh yeah, so I just stepped out and I nailed it from day one. No, I was the one crying in the corner. I was the one going, what is wrong with me? I was the one going, I'm letting my dog down. I want to quit, and had to work through that. So the process that I've developed comes from the very fact that I've been where some of you are at, and I've now gotten to the place where, well, whatever. It's not, it's not about me, like I've been there where I didn't have the, I would have sworn blind I didn't have the budget to do extra work. I would have said I was too busy. I would have said, I'm just doing this for fun, but I wasn't having fun. And like I say, I eventually came to the point where I was like, it's not your skills that are the problem, because you can do it beautifully at the training field. You can do it beautifully in this environment, in that environment, but then, something changes and you're not approaching the competitive aspect in the way that you would have done when you were dancing or, playing netball or swimming or whatever, and that was crucial for me. So I started doing the work there. Fast forward 2010, I started, helping other people with it. And let me tell you, at the risk of sounding like a megalomaniac, you see the buzz you get when it goes right in the ring? you know, when you have that like really, really connected run and it just feels like you are one entity and it feels amazing. And if you haven't got there, guys, you will. Stick with me. I'm determined. Put that on steroids. And that's what it feels like for me. All over the world. When Mind to Winners are killing it. When Mind to Winners in all different parts of the globe on the same day, in so many more classes than I could ever enter myself, are winning, are experiencing personal wins. You know, those significant moments where for the first time they crack something that has been driving them crazy for months. Where for the first time they have the nerve to go into the ring, you know, after being terrified to do so. The first time where they can come out and see something good in their runs and perfectionism has not had the best of them. That is a buzz. So that's what psychs me up. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, because we can have that all over the world. That constant but I digress. I'm not supposed to be talking about that, sorry. But that's where this comes from, because I knew I was onto something and I wanted to help more people, because, you know, I knew how miserable it was to not be having fun, and I knew that it wasn't good for my dog. He wasn't having fun if I wasn't having fun, you know, and I've seen it since, that when we are having more fun, our dogs are having more fun. So, you know, for me, it's a 2-for-1 deal, right? You with me? All right. So I'm coming from a place of personal experience, and since, you know, we've been doing this since 2010 as in the Mind to Win format, and so really, you know, what I want, it's not about me, you know, for fear that you lose sight of this and think I'm just talking about me for the hell of it. I'm not. The reason I'm telling you about my spectacular and many and varied and well documented failures is, you know, to tell you, like, I've walked the walk, I've been through it, I have empathy for you, and I've come out the other side, and I'm helping people at all levels of the game now with this process. So we're going to start the journey today. All right. We're so close. And everything I'm about to share with you is the exact plan I follow to create beautifully connected performances with my students. All right. It's also led them to experience so much more satisfaction and joy and achievement in many other areas of life, because you are one person, and I'm always going to be looking at you and going, right, how can we make the whole of your life better? Because that's also going to support your competitive goals, right? You know, so that's what we're working on. Okay. So the purpose of this whole confident competing thing is to help you quickly adjust your perspective so that you can feel more positive about your competitive efforts, right? So if you're filling in the PDF, the purpose of confident competing is to help you quickly adjust your perspective so you can feel more positive about your competition efforts. That sound good? All right. And if you haven't got the PDF, I will post the link at the end. Don't leave me. Stay with me because we're going. Are you ready? All right. Okay, guys. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, I want to tell you a wee story. All right. I want to tell you a wee story. So, Michael Johnson, the athlete, sprinter, world record holder, cool dude. He was interviewed recently, and he was talking about how he won some of his titles. And what he was saying is that there was days where when he was competing that he went out and he knew that he was not, you know, he just wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling fit, or he was coming back off, you know, maybe a cold or something. And he just knew, that in and of himself, he was not where he needed to be, you know, to be secure in that he was going to, you know, take care of business, as it were. And yet, there were days where he won, and it wasn't because he was the best athlete out there. What he says is he knew fine well that he was going to attack it. You know, this was all good in his head. But he also was aware that other people would look down the line and go, oh, It's Michael Johnson. It's Michael Johnson. I can't beat Michael Johnson. Can I beat Michael Johnson? I don't know. You know, he knew that sometimes he won not because he was the best athlete out there, but because they'd psyched themselves out. They had sabotaged themselves and he'd gone on to win because, you know, he's not a charity. He's going to do his best, even if his best theoretically on paper would not be the best that day. But this here made the difference. Okay? Now, the deal with this is that we often overlook the importance of mental game for competing. But mindset makes the difference. Let me give you an example. If you've got two people who are competing in the same category, and this is using the Michael Johnson example essentially, but let's bring it over into our dog sports. If you have two people who are in the same grade, competing at the same level, their skills are much, you know, in and around the same. There's not a huge difference in their technical ability. But one of them has a stronger mental game, and one of them, their mental game is, you know, weaker. It's more vulnerable. It's more susceptible to distraction or other people or, you know, whatever. When it comes down to it, is it the person with the superior technical skill that's more likely to win, or the person with the superior mental skills that's more likely to win? Time and time again, it's what's going on between the ears that makes a difference. Because you can have those fabulous technical skills, but if you can't access them, if you can't harness them in competition, they're no use to you. You know? So all the while that this piece, this mental piece of the puzzle is not getting stronger, you can be doing training day after training day and seminar after seminar, but finding that you're actually getting more frustrated in competition. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Anybody experienced that? So it's not an optional extra. And the funny thing is, if you listen to any sports commentary, doesn't matter whether it's athletics, football, tennis, golf, whatever, you listen to any commentary, what are they talking about? Who can hold it together on the line? Who can hold it together? Who can put it away when it comes to that game, set, and match shot? You know, when it comes to that penalty kick, who can put it away? Who can hold it together? That's what people talk about. When you look at the top competitors in any sport, oftentimes what makes the difference when they go from being an also-ran to a top of the tree, number one ranked person, is that they've gone and done the work here. And the really fun bit from our perspective is that in dog sports, this is really underused. It's not the norm yet. In fact, the fact we know this because some of you haven't even told your friends that you've come into this group. You know, it's kind of like a thing that you've done quietly, you know, and there's no shame in that. It's just not become a normal thing yet. But, you know, spoiler alert, I'm not going away. I'm going to keep on until we do this normally because this is healthier for everyone. This affects your dogs too. Let me give you an example. So, you know, when you, let me give you an example. If you want better competitive results and a better connection, you know, let's come back up the lead and let's work on you for a second because we're awfully good at talking at this end of the lead, you know. And I've seen it. You've maybe seen it in my, if I know some of you got my DVD, you've maybe seen it that, you know, there's a beautiful example in there where I ask a lady about something at her, you know, that's going on in her, and her knee-jerk response, which is like so many of us do, is to talk about the dog. You know, we're not so well versed in coming back up the leash and doing that without shame, you know? So if you think, like, if you go to class regularly and you're developing skills, yeah? And you get better at doing something because you're doing it all the time, week in, week out. Yes, with me? You're doing it week in, week out. Your skills are going to improve. Even, I'm not talking about competition. I'm talking about in training. You get better at doing something that maybe you were not any good at doing when you first started. Maybe the first time you tried to do a front cross, for example, maybe you landed on your butt or ran into a jump or something, right? I don't know. But over time, you get the hang of it because you keep working at it. Now, imagine you take a month off. What do you say when you go back into class? What does it feel like? Ooh, you maybe feel a bit rusty. What does it feel like when you take a couple of months off? You get more rusty. If you took a year off and then came back, you'd feel a bit rusty, wouldn't you? You might not be able to do the things that you used to be able to do. With me? Okay. I'll give you an example. And I found these today because I was reading through a box. I found an old pair of my point shoes from way back in the day. Beautifully darned and everything. And so way back in the day, I used to be able to fouette on point on the spot. Now, for those of you who don't know what that looks like or what that is, that's the wee whippy leg thing. And it's very fancy. And it takes a buttload of strength, let me tell you, and a buttload of technique to be able to do and not fall on your bum or spin across the room. And I was able to do it without spinning across the room. I was able to do it pretty much on the spot. Okay. Now, I was never a Royal Ballet dancer. Don't get me wrong. I was not that good, but I got to the point that I was strong enough to be able to be on point and doing the whippy leggy turny thing, the technical name for fouettes, and land it without, being dizzy and all that. Can't do it anymore. Why? I stopped. I didn't keep on. It's a skill that would have required me to keep working at it. But like you with any of your dog training skills, with any of your agility skills or anything, if you stop using them, your brain goes, well, you're not using that. Why on earth would I keep that, sharp? Why would I keep that skill honed? Because that takes energy. And if you're not using it, if you're not paying attention to it, let's just let that go. Because we have other things that we need to pay attention to. There are other things that matter, right? So your skills go. With me? Same is true for your mental game. So the bit I really want to get across to you, I have so many points here that I want to make, and I'm trying not to overload you. This is really hard for me because I'm trying to not assume anybody knows anything. This is the hardest piece for me, is to go right back to scratch. So you're watching me exhibit personal growth as I even do this for you guys. So please hang with me. This is the hardest bit for me. So hang with me. The point of this is that as you work on your mental game, it's going to make an impact on all different parts of what you do. All different parts of your agility, your obedience, your rally, your whatever, anything you do with your dog, it's going to affect you, your life, your partnership. Okay? In ways like, are you actually at this ring? It's very easy when we get distracted. It's very easy when we get, our nerves take over, to be worried about what's going on outside the ring, or what's going to happen later in the day, or what your trainer's going to say next week about that run where you missed a contact. It's very easy to not be at this ring with this dog because you're still trying to fix the contact that you missed yesterday or this morning. It's very easy to not be with the dog that you're actually in the ring with because, oh, my other dog did this, and you're kicking yourself about that, and you then go and run this dog, but actually you're trying to correct what went wrong with that dog. That's all mental game. It's not that you lost your skills. That's all mental game. It's also, are you present? Are you able to, not be freaking out and running to the loo every 5 minutes? Are you able to see what your dog needs in the midst of all this? Or are you so flipped out and afraid of getting things wrong and what your friends are going to say, and you're the only person who's not getting clear rounds, and everybody else is going up the grades, and then you're just, are you so lost in your head that you can't see what your dog needs from you in this moment? That's mental game. And by the way, there is no shame in any of this. None. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute, so hold fire. If the shame gremlins are coming around, tell them to sit down and shh, all right? Because they're bang out of order. When it matters, are you able to step up and advocate for your dog? Do you have the confidence to do that? To say, actually, no, my dog needs some time out. My dog needs a day off. My dog is not, is not feeling it for this round. Something has spooked them. I need to give them space, time, whatever. Are you confident enough to do that? That's all mental game. Are you having fun out there? Are you really having fun out there? I know you say that you're just doing it for fun, and that's cool. You can have the highest, most audacious goals, and heck, by all means do. And have fun. The two are not mutually exclusive. You can have incredibly audacious goals, and I would argue the more fun you're having, the freer you are to set those big and achieve those big goals. All of this stuff falls under mental game. Being able to remember courses falls under mental game. Not exclusively, but it's certainly a piece of the puzzle, because if you're pumping cortisol and you are so stressed up that your brain cells are like, I'm not communicating with that brain cell, your short-term memory is shot to hell, that's all mental game, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. Here is the thing that I want you to get, all right? So listen up. This is the big old takeaway. Big old takeaway for you. Right. Have you ever actually learned these skills? Have you ever learned these skills? Have you ever done the work to make them as routine, as just unconsciously done as you do other things in your agility or obedience or whatever? Some of the other skills. Like, if I said to you, go and run that dog through the waves, and the dog had never seen waves before, what would you say to me? I mean, I'm sure you'd have a few choice words, wouldn't you? It's no different for you. Why on earth would you expect yourself to be awesome at competing if you've never learned how to compete? Just because you pay your money to go into a ring and there's a potential for a ribbon at the end of it does not mean that you should magically have the mental skills to be able to compete at your best. Who's taught you? It is like setting a dog up to do weaves without ever actually teaching them how to do weaves. It's mean. Cut yourself some slack already. If you haven't asked yourself to do the work, and if you haven't done the work, if you haven't put yourself in an environment to learn, just cut yourself some slack, guys. There's no good reason why you would have the skills to be able to handle competitive pressure, to be able to know how to navigate your way through competition with everything that it brings to you, not least, different surroundings, different locations, different people, all the interactions with different people, some of which are positive, some not so much. The way your dog may be different, the way that they may be sensitive to certain things, or they may need you to be different. The different styles of courses, all the travel, for example, all these different factors that somehow we lump in together and expect ourselves to be exactly the same person and have exactly the same experience as if we were just toddling around a field, with a couple of our buddies on a Wednesday night. We're asking a lot of ourselves. And to then be trying to do that and do everything that our dog needs us to do to actually navigate our way around a course, whether, and it doesn't matter what type of course we're talking about, whether it's agility or obedience or whatever, you've got to be executing a performance in something. And that in itself demands a lot of brain power before we even put on the competitive element. Does that make sense, guys? Are you with me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Let me know. All right, let me know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get some comments from you guys when it's interactive. So just like if you are looking to build your skills in agility, you go to a class more than once a year, right? You put yourself in an environment where you're going to learn and it's going to be reinforced, because even if you go to a training day, you're going to get a technical training day, you're going to get limited use out of it if you don't actually then go away and practice what you learned at that training day. And it's going to be easier to practice what you've learned. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Appreciate the comments. It's going to be easier to reinforce and get the hang of and make normal these new skills that you learned at your training day if you're doing them week in, week out after the fact. Because, I don't know about you, but I know me, and I know that I can go to a training and be like, man, I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to live and breathe this because it was so awesome. But best of intentions, do you follow through every time you say you're going to? I don't. I do sometimes, but I know I'm better if I have other people that are going to hold me accountable. I do better if I'm around other people who are doing similar things that helps me to reinforce it. So I want you to cut yourself some slack, guys. Cut yourself some slack. If you've never asked yourself to do this work before, well, firstly, per Michael Johnson, well, him too, but per Michael Johnson, if you're not doing the work, if your mental game is not where it could be, you're leaving a skill out that is an essential part of the skill, which any other sport has already normalized, essentially, right? So that's a big skill that you're not paying attention to, that is an essential part of your competing well. You're also leaving on the table skills that are going to help you with your dogs. And I'm not just talking your current dogs. I'm talking about every dog you have from here on out. Every dog. As you improve, you will find your partnership changes. I mean, like Leslie said this in the case study the other day. There's any amount of folks that some of you are on here that will have experienced that for yourselves already, that your partnership changes. Even though you're working on you being different changes the dynamic with your dogs. It's fascinating to watch. Fascinating. Okay, so essentially, no shame, no blame. All right. If you have never asked yourself to do that work, how would you know? It's an essential piece of the game. It's not an optional extra. If you're not doing the work, you better believe that there's a bunch of your competitors who are. And particularly for those of you guys, who want to move up the grades, who want to, who have high level goals, you really do need to be making sure that your mental game is on point, because otherwise that is a big Achilles heel to your game. And if you're at the other end of things and you're, ready to quit, well, look, let's work on your mental game. Let's see if you're willing to do the work. What could you do? Because your mental game is not set. Like I keep saying, it's a skill set. That's all it is. It's not a case of, well, that's just the way I am. No. Your brain is constantly changing. And just like you can lose, like I lost my point skills because I didn't keep using them, it goes the other way too. Your brain is looking for, well, what do you want to pay attention to? All right, where do I need to divert the finite energy that you have? Where do I need to direct that? And your brain directs it to what you pay attention to. So if you start paying attention to being a badass competitor, you start paying attention to being positive. You start paying attention to, being grateful for every run you can do. You start paying attention to what's actually going right in the ring. Your brain goes, oh, okay, cool. You want to pay attention to that? Sweet. I'll show you more of that. Let's pay attention to that. Let's divert energy to that. So you're incredibly changeable, So it's up to you whether you choose to work on this skill or not, And it is a skill that with use, with practice, with time, effort, and consistency, you can be a complete badass at. I don't care what age you are. That's irrelevant. All right? I don't care how broken the rest of your body is. You can still improve your mindset. You can improve that, and it will, spoiler alert, it will filter out into other areas of your life as well, because you have this one mind in one body. You don't have a different mind that you take to work. You don't have a different mind that you take with your friends or to any other hobbies that you do. You are still you. So as we increase your confidence, as we help you change your perspective in one area, it's going to leak out into others. So, does that sound exciting to anyone? Hair is all over the place. This curl thing is hard work. All right. With me, any questions on that? Get them down there and I will get to them quick, fast. All right? Cool. All right. Keep moving. All right. So now you're clear, right? On how to create these beautifully connected performances, right? That we start by paying attention that there is something at this end of the leash going on, and it is infinitely changeable. It is vitally important. It is crucial that you get this, that this is an important part of the game. Okay? But the big question then becomes, the natural question then becomes, okay, Catherine, how? For those who don't want to deal with my accent. How, when I say how, I mean how. How do you transform your mindset? So, hands down, this is the most important key to growth for competitors. It is also, I would argue, the most neglected. But you know what? If you cannot identify and bash your mindset gremlins, you're not going to transform your mindset. And you're not going to get the results that you want, whether that's competitively or just, I would really like us to be able to have fun. Or I would really like us to be able to go to a show without me feeling sick or spending half my day in the bathrooms. But without dealing with this piece, you're going to find setting goals is a hateful exercise. I was hearing even today folks that were like, don't like to set goals. Can't be doing with setting goals. Understandably so, right? Because if this is not where it needs to be, there's no fun in setting goals that this is telling you are just setting you up for failure. Who wants to set themselves up for failure? That's no fun. But what if you could clearly define what you want to achieve? What if you could actually do it? And what if it doesn't mean actually having to work harder? What if it means working smarter? And that is possible. And I'm going to share that with you. So how do you transform your mindset? Well, that's what we're going to do in the next video. So if you're trying to move up the grades, this is going to serve as the foundation. So you'll see how to transform your mindset. Okay? And if you're ready to take your competing to a whole new level, then you're going to be able to quickly put this into practice to bash mindset gremlins. I'm also going to introduce you to some examples, and I'm going to provide you with a blueprint that you can download and use as an ongoing reference and tool. Once you know exactly what to do, you will see that it is easy to start. Easy to start. Doesn't mean it's simple to complete, but it's easy to transform your mindset. I'm going to show you how in the next video. All right. But before we go today, before I sign off, I want, I've just seen Kim saying about my accent. Hi. Well done. Yes. H-O-Y. Yes, I realized it does exactly look like that. So before we go today, I want to hear from you. I want to know, what would life look like if you were able to create beautifully connected performances? If you were there in the ring with this particular dog for this round, aware of what they need from you and giving it, stepping up, focused, calm, confident, ready to see good stuff, what would it be like to have those amazing, connected, present performances? Tell me. I want to know. Have a think about it. Let me know. And also, how will life be different when you feel more positive about your rounds? And for some of you, that might be an even more pertinent question. How will life be different when you feel more positive about your runs? So let me know in the comments, all right? I'm going to read everyone, and I will do my best to reply to as many or respond as many as I can. Okay? If you find this video useful, and I realize we went a little bit all over the place, I'll try and bring that back. Next time, we're going to go deeper into how to actually do it. Like I say, this was the toughest one for me to do because it's going back beyond. It's imagining I don't live in this world all the time and take it for granted. So, oh, hard work. So, all right. So if you find this useful, please tell your friends about this group. All right. I would love to have them in there. Let's keep the conversation going. All right. I want to be helpful to you guys. So, oh, and Becky says, I've had those amazing connected performances thanks to you, but I want more. So do I. You think you're ambitious for you. I'm like way more. All right. So what you've learned here is a simple process. It's paying attention to something that most people overlook, for creating beautifully connected performances that you cannot do if what's going on between your ears is not serving you. It is a game changer in helping you feel more confident and amazingly partnered with your dog. And it is a key step along the way to achieving your goals, whatever they happen to be. This is going to serve you. This is when you get this sussed, even actually, frankly, not even when you get it sussed, like when you start to get this sussed, when you first start grasping some of the concepts that I'm going to share with you. When you start getting that you have the power to influence your partnership for good, like you will feel more positive about your runs. Like you just will. And you will start to feel satisfaction and pride in your results. And there's a bunch of folks on here that you will see, and I can see the comments are already coming up, that they're living this reality. So it's not just me saying it, it's them testifying to it, that this is what's going to happen. This is what you have lying ahead of you when you start working on this. So next up, we're going to talk about how to transform your mindset by following a simple process to help you bash your mindset gremlins. All right. I will see you in the next video. But until then, I'm going to go across to the comments now, guys. So let me see what we've got. I'm going to scroll back up. So let's see what we've got. Anything I need to. Hello. Oh my gosh, so many people I missed. Wow. Thank you guys for joining me. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Kimberly. Hey, Carol. Hey, Heather. Hey, Plan. Megan says it's progress. Yes, it is. I know. It's huge for me, right? Hey, Debbie. Hey, Jillian. How you, Cindy? Hey, Brenda. Good to see you. Hey, Karen. Jackie. What? Fist bump. Vasilia. Oh, I like that. Hey. And Becky. Hi. And Shari. Well done. Thank you for joining me, guys. And Taryn. Jackie says, always having fun and lots of laughs. Yes. Hey, Pam. And Mags is here. Excellent. Brenda, good points. Hey, Lisa. Why did I say that? So Morag says she'd have fun, enjoyment, stress levels reduced. Right. Things would be better, Kim says. Lisa says, less stressful and happier dogs. Yes, you have the power to do that. Like, how stinking cool is that? Like you can help your dogs be happier. Awesome. Like, it just blows my mind. It really does. I just, it never gets old to me. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to see. Okay, Marianne, it's not showing me the whole of your comment, which is really annoying. In the zone, everything and everyone falls away. And it's just me and the dog, and time slows or becomes ... It won't show me the rest of your comment, babe, but I'll see it when we get off here. Shari says, I'd probably be calmer and less stressed. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. You're welcome, Morag. Debbie says, change so much. Carol says, you know what? It's just not showing me the longer comments, which is really rude. Okay, so Carol said that she's sad because she felt there was no reason to go. And sometimes actually that can be the best thing that we can do. If we know that we're not in the right place, it can be the best thing we can do to step back, regroup, go again another time. There's no shame in that. Hey, Randy. And Shari says, and maybe go home for my weekend happier and less frustrated. I love that you guys are taking my high and respelling how as HOI. Brenda says, hi, stinking cool. I love you guys. You're right. Awesome. So next time we're going to get into the highs. For now, I just want you to pay attention to, and really think about, how much work have you ever asked yourself to do? Have you done as much work on your mental game as your technical game? What have you asked of yourself without being fair to yourself? And, are you willing to concede that maybe that's a piece of your game that's a weakness? That, or if it's not a weakness now, that actually when you come to level up, there's always going to be, I did a video on this in the Mental Mastery community today, where I was sharing my own inner monologue or dialogue, if you want to include the gremlins. And, I was saying to folks there, I was like, look, new level, new devil. So there's things I'm doing this time around for you guys in this workshop series that I've never done before. And with that new level, it's awesome. It's exciting. But you better believe that the bigger you try to go, the more the gremlins will come after you. And you need to be ready for that, But it's okay. You can do that. It's just a skill. And just like, when you start out, you have beginner level skills and you up level your skills technically to reach new levels. It's the same with your mental game. So I'm in danger of going back around. But I promise I have plenty more for you. So just, be patient. And I'm going to try and not overdo it. All right. Janine says, I could step to the line with confidence and total trust in my dog, doubt free. Oh, doesn't that sound good? Yes. I like the sound of that. I know, Brian Guy. Jennifer says, makes sense. Will be less stressful, happy dog. Yeah. Imagine if you were going home from a show and you were feeling just really proud of yourselves, regardless of how many ribbons you had in the car. Imagine that you were going home and you're going, you know what, I'm really proud of us today. That's totally doable. That is not an audacious goal. That is totally doable. So Karen says, I'm so much more in control of my own path and relationship with my dog since I joined this community. Yes. I love it. Love it. And I can't see the rest of it, so forgive me. I'll get there. Nicola says, you've honestly changed my mindset lots already. Still more to do, though. Oh, we're not done, girl. I love it. I love it. If you think of how far you've come, my dear, it's amazing. I love it. I love it. Marianne says, in the zone, everything and everyone falls away, and it's just me and the dog, and time slows. Oh, I read that one, didn't I? Sorry. Becky says, I was having a wobble today. This has helped so much. Hashtag human, right? Don't we? We say that a lot, don't we? Hashtag human. We're going to have those, but, being able to have a resource to go to, you've got this community that when you're having a rubbish day, or a bit of a wobble even, you have somewhere safe to go and go, right, all right, help me regroup, and let's go again. Shari says, I haven't felt that in so long. It is, darling, it's totally doable. It's totally doable, but a lot of this stuff, it's not to say that you don't need technical skills. Of course you do. It's not to say that you don't need a healthy dog. Of course you do. That's, I'm not putting mental skills over everything else. Not at all. But I'm saying that we really have done a poor job of giving adequate attention and effort to our mental game. And like I say, it's what I'm passionate about because I've seen I've experienced the difference it makes, but I've also seen it in so many people that I've worked with, and just watching people turn their lives in a whole different way, from being ready to quit, from being so down on themselves, from feeling like a failure, feeling like they're letting their dog down, to, being able to kick booty, even, and I'll tell you a really good one. I had someone who actually is leaving our community today. So this is going to be a strange one to share, but I want you to understand this. And I'm not going to give you too many details, but someone who was leaving the community for really positive reasons, and it was the most wonderful thing. I'm sad to see the back of them, like, because this is someone that I'm really, really fond of, and I'm sad to see the back of them from our community. But I was so proud of them, and I was so happy because they were essentially graduating, at this point in time, aligned with their priorities, making a choice that is absolutely right for them, and as sad as I am on the one hand, I am bouncing off the walls with joy in the other, because this is someone who has got ownership of their life on their terms and has come so far, and I'm so stinking proud. So I know that maybe sounds like a strange one, but okay, so Gillian says, proud of dogs last week and enjoyed their runs, even though too slow to be in the place. Right. You guys were doing your best, and there's so much in that. And I'm so proud of you, Gillian. Like, oh my gosh, I am so stinking proud of you. Kim says, when's the next video, Catherine? And you even spelt my name right. I love you for that. Thank you. Even autocorrect doesn't want to spell my name right. Well, autocorrect beast. So next video is Monday, I believe. Let me just double check that I'm not giving you stupid information or false information. Well, it would help if I had the right page in front of me. Oh, here we go. Hang on, please hold. Monday the 17th. Yes, so Monday is our next one, love. Just thanks very much. Invaluable advice, and can't wait for the next sessions. Thanks. I appreciate that. That's cool. Thank you. That's very encouraging. All right. So any last questions or comments before I release you to the rest of your evening? Thank you so much for being on with me, guys. I never take it for granted. These are moments of your life that you can't get back. So, you know what I mean? I always want to make sure that if I'm taking up your time, it's been well spent, like I really do think of it in those terms, like this is time of your life that you cannot get back. So, all right. Any last questions or comments, my lovelies, before I head on? All right. You are so welcome, Shari. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I like to feel it on my heart to give my dog the support that she needs in every run. And you know what? You can. This is not beyond you, Pam. It's not beyond you to feel like you've done, what you could. It's not at all. It's totally doable. Totally doable. I'm excited that you guys are like, yep, you know what? This is what I want to feel. This is where it's at. I want some of that. I love it. Ooh, Lisa. Thank you. Feeling like I might actually go to the show on Sunday. Whoop, whoop. All right. Well, if you go, you're going to, you promised me faithfully that you're going to allow yourself, cut yourself some slack. All right. Just cut yourself some slack. If you haven't put as much work in your mental game as your technical game, then I want you to promise me that you're going to show yourself a little bit of kindness on this one. All right. Please do me a favor. All right. And next week, we're going to get into it some more. So make sure you guys come back on Monday for more. All right. And we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Okay. So in the meantime, my lovelies, I hope you have a fabulous weekend if you are competing. And if you're not competing, I hope you're doing something very fun instead. I will see you guys. Let's keep the conversation going. Like I say, please tell your friends about this group. Don't add anybody, without their permission. But please just give them the address that they can add themselves to this group. And let's get some happier dogs and happier people out there. Let's work on these skills. Okay. All right, my lovelies. I'll try. Well, I'll take it. All right, my dears. Have a fabulous evening. Have a great weekend. And I will, God willing and weather permitting, see you on Monday for more. Take care. Bye.